All right, guys, can you hear me? So, listen, I'm trying to get some visuals up. Why don't we think of this morning as an audio podcast or a Twitter space or something like that? Because I'm having internet issues. My bandwidth is very low. I've connected my phone hotspot to my desktop and doesn't look like I'll be able to share my screen. Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to see if I can share my desktop in a bit. So, you know what? Let's just talk while I try to get some visuals up. First thing, Lilium, man. Lilium is just exploding. It's now $1.27, up 14%. So this came up on my radar yesterday morning because they had a little bit of news about production, that they were starting production of the first Lilium jet. And man, the stock went from like $1 to $1.10, but it's up another like 17 cents this morning on this deal with Lufthansa. All right, Lufthansa. Let me find that PR. I want to read to you a couple key passages in this. All right. Hold on. Let me see. 1 second. I'm going to try to get a chart up too. Let's see if we can get a chart up. Let's see if this is going to work. All right. Let's share my screen. And all right. So This is slow. Okay, so anyway, while that's loading, let me read to you what's really interesting about this. This memorandum of understanding. When I saw the headline at first, I'm like, all right, great. Lufthansa might want to buy some jets from them one day. But it's much more than that. It's a memorandum of understanding. It's a strategic partnership. Okay, strategic partnership where the companies aim to explore innovation opportunities in aviation, discussing areas such as ground and flight operations, future aircraft maintenance, as well as crewing and flight training. Um, Goes on another section here, basically about bringing eVTOL to the European market. Okay, I can't find that key phrase I was looking for. It's actually not even in Webull. It's in the original press release is in the story trading app, but not in Webull. Once again, our newsfeed does better sometimes than the Webull app. But if you pull up Lilium in the app, okay, I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, memorandum of understanding for strategic partnership. Planned cooperation to jointly shape the future of advanced air mobility in Europe. Lufthansa Group and Lilium to review infrastructure, airspace maintenance, flight operations for the requirements. Important groundwork to enable a safe and efficient operation of vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Okay, so a couple things that are interesting to me here. Okay. Lilium, now the only eVTOL company I own longer term is ACHR. All right. It's a bigger market cap. Kathy Woods is behind it. It's like $1.7 billion. Here we're talking about a 584 million market cap. If you remember, we caught Lilium earlier this year at the bottom because they made a statement that, hey, I think they had raised some money and they said that, hey, this is enough money to reach profitability. The stock was like 40 cents then. It hit 190, pulled back all the way to 60 cents over many months. And now it's doubled off of the lows just in the past few weeks. The market cap 584 million. So a couple ideas is I just look at the market cap versus ACHR and the fact that they have this now strategic partnership with Lufthansa. I just look at it from market cap to market cap. Is it in the same league, right? And also, when they talk about the strategic partnership, it also sounds like something where Lufthansa might take a stake in Lilium one day or might buy them out one day as well. So I think it's a really powerful, good press release. Now the chart's up. Let's see if we can zoom in. All right. Let's go to 5 minute. Let's put in some extended hours. All right. All right. You know what I need to do here. Oh man, I wish I had my phone. What I need to do here, guys. Sorry for this inefficiency in today's show because of our internet issue, but I need to put in the 50, 20, and 200 DMEs. So let's do that real quick. All right, here we go. 50, oops. Let's go purple. Oh, wow, look at that bullish cross forming. That's the 2200 bullish cross forming on Lilium. Okay, and wow, that's beautiful. Let's see if we can find some candle resistance right now. This includes the pre-market, so 126. Up here in this gap, you see this area, 143. So this area, 138 to 143, 145, 138 to 145, somewhere in that. I think that's the resistance area, 138 to 145. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly, okay, got some candles here. About 145 becomes more clear. 145. Okay. So 145, interesting level. Stock's 127 now. I'm not going to say, hey, just chase it now. But this is important news. And the technicals look good. So maybe there's an opportunity to buy them pullbacks. You figure it out what you want to do. You want to own this long term. If you think this is good, go for it. If you want to try to trade this on dips, I think this is a candidate that can overperform today, especially since, look, the macro, everything's pulled. Actually, wow, we're back up. I thought everything was pulling back this morning. Oh, now everything's back up. Okay, I was going to say the market doesn't look great this morning, so it's good to focus on stocks with catalysts, but looks like things are bouncing back. All right, so that's Lilium. All right, let's talk about Rivian real quick. Rivian had some important news, two pieces of news. All right, let's take a look at this. First of all, you can see Rivian really surged yesterday. Can you see that? Okay, you know what? Let me go to like a 5 minute. There you can see that. See that big spike yesterday morning? Boom, and this is pre-market today. What was this big spike about yesterday and this move in pre-market? Well, let me tell you. Yesterday there was at a conference, and the CFO they were talking about lowering their costs, increasing their margins because of a better battery pack. All right, so people are really excited about that. There was a couple articles written on that last night. And then this morning, what we had was a Stifel coming out with a buy rating and $23 target. Stifel. So you got good data yesterday from Rivian on profitability and a better battery pack. And then Stifel coming out today with a $23 price target. So now we can kind of zoom out, look at the big picture on the daily. And on the daily, you can see we're above all the key moving averages. Let's see what we have here on the daily. The stock is now at 1838, 1910. Okay, 1910. And you got some resistance up here at 20, basically. All right, you got some resistance at the psychological level of 20. So Rivian could be in play today, possible 20 target on Rivian. All right. Also, is that an inflection point news, right? To say I want to own some long term. It might be actually for me. I might pick up some Rivian long term on this news of lower costs and this new analyst coming on with a $23 price target. So that's Rivian on our radar today. So we got Lilium, Rivian. All right. Both EV companies. Here we go. All right. Now, what should we hit next? I got to talk about, well, let's do CRISPR. All right. CRISPR, the FDA decision is going to be tomorrow. So today's your last chance to do what you want to do to position for this FDA. Now, I think the expectation is it's going to be approved, but there's a risk it's not. So, like going into that, I think we made some money on this. We're quick on the UK approval. I've been shaving off. I'm going to sell more today. I just have to decide for myself how much I want for this FDA decision. But I will tell you something. First of all, we've been noticing 73 is big resistance. Have you seen that? Every day it hits 73, pulls back, hits 73, pulls back. I've actually sold a couple times there in the past week. That's where I've been lightening my load is around 73. All right. So I'm still hoping that today things go crazy and we get to 76 to 79, 76 the candle resistance, 79 the weekly moving average resistance, which let's just double check together which weekly I'm talking about. It must be there it is. It's the 200 week moving average major resistance. Okay. At about 79. All right. But I want to let you know, remember on CRISPR the other day, there was some news on, it was a CAR T therapy. Remember this? It was like Monday morning or it was Tuesday morning. And I'm like, okay, all I care about is expanded TAM or something they put in there about the expanded pipeline, right? So now I've seen two analyst reports this morning on that press release on the CAR T. All right, one was positive and maintained their buy rating with a price target of like 95, and one was negative and maintained their neutral rating with a price target of 45. Okay, and this is in direct reaction to that press release that came out Monday. So let me tell you what that press release was. Now, reading both of those analyst reports, basically what's happening is that CRISPR here, in terms of their oncology pipeline, they've chosen to focus on different candidates that were further behind on the pipeline, but with has been showing greater efficacy data. Okay, so that's why it's almost like a wash, right? Because the bear on the one hand is like this is going to put them back by 1.5 to 2.5 years because of the clinical trials, and then the bulls are like, yeah, but they're focusing on molecules that have greater efficacy. So all in all, that was like a net neutral kind of news. Earlier this week, we said, hey, this is positive for sentiment, but now we got to read from the analyst community. So that's really net neutral. So really all we're looking at tomorrow is this FDA decision. And I think the risk is to the downside, honestly. I think, to me, maybe if it gets approved, right, maybe you spike to that 79 level or something, or maybe you gap open at 79, something like that, and then you come on down. So we're ready. Don't forget, we're ready at like $5.5 billion market cap on CRISPR. So exit, I think, is going to be mostly today, and then risk what you want for tomorrow with hopefully, if it gets approved, sell on a pop of whatever percentage it's going to pop, and then And then that's it. And I might keep some for the long term. So that's my game plan, at least for CRISPR. All right. What else do we have here? We got Lilium, Rivian, CRISPR. Okay. We're going to get to Google and AMD in a second. Lilium, Rivian. I hope you guys can even hear me. I don't know. With my bad internet here this morning. I apologize about that. All right, Google had some news. Gemini. Google releases Gemini AI. The stock is up 4% this morning. It had some bullish analyst coverage, I believe, from JP Morgan. But yeah, it was JP Morgan. Google's Gemini launch represents significant innovation in generative AI race. Okay, so I think I put that in the app. I think I did. All right. Analyst Doug Amick reiterated overweight rating, $150 price target. Stock is up from 130 yesterday to 135 already this morning. Wow. On AI, some AI hype and AI excitement. All right. Let me pull up the chart, see if there's any room here left. Let's see where we're at. Okay. So we're at 135, big candle here this morning. Actually, it doesn't even look like much when you look at the daily. Oh, this is a weekly candle. On the weekly, it just looks like noise at this point. So, all right. Look at this major resistance here up in the 140 area. All right. That's your resistance. Then you got some support here at the 20 moving average, right? 20 week moving average, right around 132. Let's look at the daily, see what the daily is showing. Man, a lot of chop. The weekly so much easier to read on this one. So Google could be in play, could be like a buy the dip kind of day for day trading or something like that. I do have Google in my long term. Perhaps I'll consider adding Google on this. We'll see. I have Microsoft as well. So is Microsoft down on this? Let me see, because I read something that, yeah, Microsoft is down. So Microsoft is down. Google is up. All right, I'll look at my allocation balance between Microsoft and Google. Maybe on this positive news, I'll switch a little Microsoft into Google. And it's a candidate to day trade this to the upside on the dips for those of you who like to day trade. All right, now I want to mention AMD. AMD, I put in the app yesterday. Yesterday, they were at a investor conference, and live as it was happening, I was tweeting, not tweeting, I put in our VIP chat room that OpenAI is going to be using AMD chips. I don't want to say entirely instead of NVIDIA, probably not entirely instead of NVIDIA, but there's some aspect of their next versions of OpenAI coming out that's going to be using AMD chips. You can see NVIDIA has been down here the last couple days since yesterday morning, and AMD performing much better on this. Now, at the time, and not only was it OpenAI, but they also had Meta on the stage saying Meta is going to be using some of their AI chips. They had Oracle, I believe it was, saying Oracle is going to be using some of their AI chips. So AMD, I've never traded AMD. I don't know it well at all. The stock was like 116, 117 when I put the news out there. I didn't say like buy it now because I don't know enough about AMD. But man, that was a good alert. If you did buy it on that alert, sometimes I put things out because I don't really know about it and I don't give a recommendation, just in case you guys know it, right? You like trading AMD, you're comfortable with it, or you know the fundamentals, you like it. So I put the catalyst out there for you guys to decide what to do. And I guess that was a buy signal. I didn't really know it was a buy signal. I just put news out there that I think is important. So it ended up being that news was important. And the stock is up from like 116, 117 when I posted that all the way to 120 this morning on this positive news on AI. Let's look at the daily over here. See if we can see anything. Man, what's going on? Okay, on a delay. All right, so 20 DMA right here is about 120. All right, but man, it's been crisscrossing below that. I don't like it. Let's go to the weekly. All right, weekly. This is a tough one. You got some resistance up here at 125. What are we at now? We're at 120. So you know what? Like, I don't know. On this one, I'm gonna give the same idea as Google. All right. This is something that maybe is day tradable, something you can buy the dips on today. Look at the actually beautiful pre-market pattern on AMD. You got this 121 area to worry about as resistance. Also, this pre-market high of 120.50 to think about as resistance if you're going to be day trading this. But good news on Google and AMD today. make these candidates to be day traded. All right, SWBI has earnings tonight, and I'm going to place a bet. I already do have a bet on common shares. Maybe I'm going to place a call bet. Look, this has been that theme, that sector, which really didn't work out yet the way, well, it did initially for Powell, right? We had this big run in Powell, but then it failed. The gun sector, there's 3 stocks, SWBI, POWW, and RGR. So this is going to be the first data, real data we get since October 7th in terms of demand coming out of SWBI tonight, Smith & Wesson. So potentially we can get really good data out, potentially good guidance, and the stock could explode, possibly. All right, so no use really looking at the chart over here. This is just an earnings play. It could gap down, it could gap up, depending on what they report. But I have to lean towards they're going to have good guidance on SWBI, so watch that. All right, and then oil has been crashing, and is this an inside candle? We got the gap over here at 66.38. The reason I started looking at oil is because the war restarted in Israel, and then I'm looking at geopolitical impacts with oil and this, the Red Sea. And yesterday, I believe it was last night, there were a couple oil tankers that were taken over by one of these terrorist organizations. So I kind of like it down here. I'm starting to, I just have a tiny, like a few $100 in call options on oil. I'm thinking of adding to that because of the war in Israel, and then the oil's all the way down here. That seems like a good kind of option to have in case something happens at a low oil price. But I'd like to know, why is oil going down? I really don't know. I've been like trying to research, and I haven't found a good answer why oil has been going down. So if any of you guys know why oil has been going down, let me know. All right. And then last thing is keep an eye on gold for a rebound. Okay. So gold hit those all-time highs last Friday, has pulled back for a few days, and the chart's looking really good right now for a bounce back and a move back towards the highs. I think that move back has potentially started on gold. So keep an eye on that. So, all right. I apologize for my internet connectivity issues and all that. Actually, let me see. I can't. It's already. You know what? It's not even worth it. So it's 9:24. So what do we have on the top of our list today? We have LILM, Rivian, CRISPR, Google, AMD. All right, those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we got some bonus plays in USO and gold. And if we want to play SWBI earnings, that's it. So yeah, I like these picks today. I think these can do really well, especially on dips. I think dips might be bought up on these today. Lilium, Rivian. Okay, CRISPR, we're looking to sell, right? Sell the pop, right? And then, and even if it doesn't pop, you want to kind of get out by the end of the day. At least something you want to get out, lock something in before the risk event tomorrow, right? So let's just actually reorder this then and say Lilium, Rivian, Google, AMD, CRISPR's or exit. Maybe hold some for the event. SWBI, maybe hold some for the event, and then gold and oil, something to look at. All right. Hope this show was helpful today. Sorry about the internet. I do think we actually have some good picks. I curated a lot of stuff. I go through dozens and dozens of press releases in the morning to find what would do best. By the way, Tusk hit our targets yesterday. It was at 5 to 15%. It was up over 5% yesterday, having a decent pre-market this morning, although light volume. So that worked out yesterday as well. We gave that to you at 450. It's now in the 470s. All right, guys, good luck. Sorry about the internet. We're not going to hang on today since I guess people can't hear me well, and most people signed off already. So we'll talk to you tomorrow morning, and we'll keep in touch in the chat room. Take care.